This is Kirk Windstein of Crowbar. You're watching Loudwire. Yeah!
Hey everyone, Gruhamed here from Loudwire, Wikipedia, fact or fiction time with Kirk Windstein of Crowbar, of course formerly of Down as well. Are you ready to prove or disprove what is on your various Wikipedia pages?
Ding! I'm ready to prove.
All right, cool.
Or disprove.
First up, you began your music career in 1987 playing guitar for a Judas Priest and Iron Maiden cover band called Victorian Blitz.
That's both fact and fiction. Actually, our first gig was in 1985.
Okay,
but
a bit earlier.
The band was Victorian Blitz, and we did do a ton of Priest, a ton of Maiden, Motorhead, Saxon, Twisted Sister, Accept, Wasp, you name it, you know.
Okay, so half fiction, half fact.
Yeah, pretty much fact.
Pretty much. We tend to call that fraction.
Or
friction.
I'm not good with math, man.
Okay.
We'll call it a fact.
There's no more math on here, I promise. The band Victorian Blitz consisted of Sid Montz, who later played with you in Crowbar.
That is a fact.
Fact. Very good. After Victorian Blitz, you joined New Orleans hardcore punk band Shell Shock.
Correct.
Fact. But as you were recording the album No Tomorrow, guitarist Mike Hatch committed suicide.
Actually, we finished recording it, but shortly thereafter, yes.
Shortly after.
Unfortunately.
So I imagine that was a horrible part of life.
It sure was. I remember listening to the first Carnivore record the day of his funeral. But I'm still good friends with his brother, Greg. And he was like, to me, a big brother. He was like our family. I mean, it was really, really difficult on my mom, my dad, my sister, me, all of our friends. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. And what reason, I don't know, but it happened. But that is a fact.
No.
Sadly, but it's a fact.
Yeah. Well, how do you move on from something like that when a bandmate passes?
You know what
away?
I did? And it's no disrespect to Mike at all. I called Kevin Noonan, who ended up being on the first on Obedience Who Suffered. I played with him in Victorian Blitz. I went to band practice the next day. Started a band called Aftershock the next day because that's what you do. You know, he didn't kill himself because of anything we did. He had his own thing going on, and he was our biggest, you know, my biggest supporter. Trust me. So that he would have beat my ass if I didn't go to band practice the next day. So that's what I did.
It's a good friend. Goes right into the next one. Kevin Noonan replaced him after his passing. Shell Shock would then go on to become Aftershock, which then became Requiem with a W, which then became the Slugs. Before the band broke up for a bit in 1990, but then finally you and Todd Strange brought it back, Crowbar.
Wikipedia's got it pretty good, man. That's
Doing
true.
Good so far. Fact.
Because I was going to play bass for Exhorter.
Right, that was on there
and
too.
That's the truth. You know, Vinny LaBella, the Godfather, I'll call him. Him and Kyle, like, dude, you got the job. You know, I jammed with him a few times, learned 3 songs, and then like the next day, I get a call up from Grindcore Records out of Chicago, which is a first label we signed to. Like, oh, we love the band. We want to sign the band. I call it Big Time. I'm like, we need a band. So we literally went to go steal Craig Nunnemacher, who later played with Black Label for many albums. Went to go steal Craig from his band and say, look, dude, you know, we got a record deal. Which, this is 1990 or something, so back then it was different, you know, than it is these days. It was a big deal. We went to go steal Craig, and Kevin happened to be playing, and I'm like, you know what? I like guitar harmonies so much, and Kevin's such a great player. Let's just get him too. So we asked Craig, and we kind of talked to Kevin. We said, dude, let's get a bunch of beer and go back to my apartment and talk about shit. And that's how we got Crowbar going.
And that's Crowbar. Perfect. Let's talk about Down for a second. In an effort to build a fan base, Down would ask heavy metal fans if they had ever heard of this band Down, and you guys would hand them demo tapes without telling them that you guys were in the band.
I think it's actually fact. I think that's Pepper Keenan at his finest. Love you, Pep. It is, because he's a sneaky bastard, but in a good way. In a good way. He would be the type to do that. Dude, check this out. This band called Down, man. I don't know. I heard it, but it's pretty fucking killer. You know? that'd be Pep. And I truly believe that he did that. Philip probably did it as well. So I'd say it's fact.
All right, fact.
I mean, me,
again.
I'd go, oh, this is my side project, call down. I got Phil and Pep and Jimmy and, whatever. But Pepper for sure probably did that, fact.
Cool. For Down 2, the band moved into Phil Anselmo's barn, dubbed Nosferatu's Lair,
Yes.
in southern Louisiana, where you recorded and lived there for 28 days, and this is the kicker, without anyone leaving the house.
I never left.
No, for 4 weeks. What does
Yep.
that do to your brain?
Well, the amount of Crown Royal, Coors Light, and cocaine that was going up my nose, I had no desire to leave.
All right. Back to Crowbar. The working title for Life's Blood for the Downtrodden was You Don't Need an Enemy to Have a War.
Fact.
Fact again. That's not a bad title.
No, I thought it was cool, and they're like, it's kind of long.
Yeah?
I'm like, yeah, but it's mean, dude. You don't need an enemy to have a war,
Oh, well.
Well, you got shot down. One of only a billion things, but hey, that's why you keep coming up with fresh ideas.
The Life's Blood album was dedicated to Dimebag Darrell, who passed away while you were recording the record.
Fiction.
Fiction, okay.
He was alive when we recorded the record. It was dedicated to him when the record came out.
Okay.
Because we recorded it while Dom was still alive. But by the time we remixed it for the 10,000th time and, actually got a record deal on it, because there was no band. It was me and Craig Nunemacher and Rex Brown. Rex, co-produced and co-wrote a couple things with me. We just kind of got together. We never even jammed as a three-piece. I think we did once. We were really drunk. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and we decided we were going to do a cover of Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. So we tried to work it up. Which would be heavy as all.
Is that hiding somewhere, like in a
Possibly.
Oh my God, I would love to hear that.
About Crowbar. But no, we never really jammed together, And then so me and Craig jammed, and Craig left after a few days. When drum tracks are done, he wrote the record with me. Like I said, look, I want you to write it with me. I'll compensate, give you some money every week or whatever, and be my human metronome. He's one of the best drummers I've ever played with anyway. But there was really no band. I mean, those guys left, and it was like me and a glorified demo tape, basically, trying to shop it around and get a record deal.
Down 3, Over the Under. The lyrical themes include the band's anger about Hurricane Katrina, Phil's frustration over Dimebag's demise, and the bad blood that he had with him until Dime passed away.
I'd say 98% fact.
Mostly fact. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Beneath the Tides is kind of about Katrina. On March of Saints is not a football song, although we had an edited version played during first down timeouts or whatever at the Superdome. We did March. Phil did an edited 47-second version or something of it on Watch the Saints. But that's actually, the Saints are not the team, it's about the people who helped rebuild the city.
Yes.
So a lot of that, because we did that record in 2000, we wrote it, started writing it in late summer 2006, basically less than a year before Katrina had actually hit, so we had started writing it, so it was fresh in everybody's brain. It was still a big part of our, kind of like y'all with the 9/11 thing or something, taking.
Sure.
Actually, our hotel's right by the Freedom Tower thing, and it looks beautiful. So.
Of course, you guys are very proud New Orleans people.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Last one for you. Crowbar's Sever the Wicked Hand was the first album you recorded while sober.
Absolute fiction.
Ah.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Even during Life's Blood, which was some of my worst days, I recorded every, not singing now, every guitar track sober. But I've always written riffs sober, and every Crowbar record, even Down Nola, I recorded completely, my guitar part's completely sober.
Okay.
So I always wrote sober, I always play guitar sober. Somebody's texting me, probably the wife, which is good. And I've always, I'll tell you this, so Some of the Wicked Hand's the first record I sang sober.
Sang sober. Okay.
And for the most part, on Symmetry and Black, the new one, I was literally like sipping tea and those herbal shit and trying to get my throat good. Yeah, a few days. My wife calls them Keystone Light sessions, where I'd have a little buzz. But actually, people can say what they want about hot tea and all that other crap, and it did help my throat. But some of the best vocal performances came when I was half tanked on Keystone Light or Coors Light. That's the truth. So for singing, I think it's okay, but not for guitar playing, not at all.
Cool. Thank you so much for stopping
Appreciate it,
by.
brother.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.